Hi, I'm Brenna Malloy and the co-owner of the House of Compassion and Gratitude, and I'm here today to share with you another teachable moment. So today what I want to talk about is the pause we take when life starts feeling like we are being blocked or held up, or we're getting frustrated because things aren't lining up in the order and fashion that we would like them to. We make a plan and there's a traffic jam, or any of these things. The email doesn't get through, somebody doesn't respond back to you. These are what we would call blocks, but they're also a blessing in disguise, because when these happen, they give us the opportunity to pause and let go of control. And in doing that, we are given the opportunity to see hidden things that we didn't see before. And what I mean by that is oftentimes we as human beings make a plan, and we believe to be productive, we have to get that plan done, accomplish it now. The shorter amount of time it takes you to accomplish something is assumed to be the bigger win, because you did it in X amount of time instead of this amount of time. So when we practice this pause, because we are being told to hold up, to wait, we need to twist our thinking a little bit and look at it more as time to prepare. By taking the pause, we can assume that there's something that we're unaware of that would be our benefit to know about. So whether it's practicing a pause and there is, a traffic jam because there was a car accident and now you're not involved in it, and that's a great blessing, right? Because now you avoided it. Or you're practicing a pause and you receive new information that makes your plan that much more productive and that much more beneficial to others and makes it easier. There's lots of reasons why we have these pauses and lots of kinds of information that can come in. So I took some time and I jotted down a few that I've noticed in my life in the last couple of weeks that I would like to share with you. So if you follow astrology at all, you'll know that the last few weeks has been a really tremendous time to have that pause and review what we're doing, and maybe look for some missing pieces, look for opportunities, and stay really aware of what's going on around us as opposed to charging ahead. Okay, so what I'll talk about first is about, 2 weeks ago, so it was my birthday, and I was committing to myself to get back into my gym routine with that. And it's been a good 2 years since I was incredibly committed to my physical well-being. And I'm not talking about weight, I'm talking about my physical wellness, as in having a routine and a plan on a regular basis to staying physically fit and active and healthy. And I committed to myself this year that I'm going to be doing that, because there are certain goals and ways that I want to feel physically and health things that I don't want to deal with that working out makes an impact on. But something else I wanted to do was buy a table and put it on my patio and move some furniture around in the kitchen. And I decided that I was going to do this by myself. But I'm not quite as strong or as agile as I was 2 years ago, because I haven't been committed to my physical health. So when I moved the table from where I purchased it to the car and then onto the patio, I felt this little pinch in my hip. And then I noticed it even more pronouncedly when I moved the furniture around in the kitchen. And it turns out that my pelvis slipped out of place a little bit. Now, those of you who know me know about 6 years ago, I had an accident. I fell down some stairs. And ever since then, I've had to be pretty careful in the sense of just being aware that my pelvis can slip out when I don't move properly, and when I move things I shouldn't, and when I kind of push myself too hard. So I didn't ask for help in moving this furniture. My pelvis came out of place. I had to take some time to heal that. I, used some heat. I used some oils. I used my fascia blasting. And I've had to walk instead of lifting weights, because any of that bending and lifting, even once the pelvis is back in place, it can dislodge it again. And I need to give it some time to heal and like where it is now, which is the right place. So that was one of the first things I noticed in the last couple weeks that I've had to do. The blessing of that, as much as I'm not the first person to want to just go for a leisurely walk, is that it's given me the opportunity to engage some members of the community more consistently in taking those walks. And yesterday, I actually went for about an hour and a half walk with my daughter. And I loved that, because my daughter is 17, and I don't know if you're a parent or not, but I think it's pretty common to say they don't always want to spend time with you once they're 17. And I loved the time that I spent with her. I feel like we had the great opportunity to connect. connect. We got to see the beautiful signs in nature and enjoy the beach and the ocean and all the little shells that we picked up along the way. And we haven't done that in a very long time. So I'm really grateful for that pause with her. And I'm grateful to use the time of these leisurely walks to connect with people in my community and kind of build myself back into where I need to be physically. Something that happened yesterday, which was a much smaller, shorter impact, was sometimes I pre-make my coffee and, like get the pot ready at night, and sometimes I don't. And yesterday I had company coming for breakfast, and I didn't realize I had already set the pot the night before. So when I went to put the water in it, I dumped a full pot all over the counter, and I had to clean that up. And I wasn't really awake yet, the whole time change thing. I was feeling foggy. And so then I proceeded to, when it was ready, to dump coffee. I thought I was putting it in my cup, but my cup was upside down. And I dumped coffee all over my hand and the counter and my pajamas and my feet and the floor. So then I had to clean the coffee up again. And, I will admit that in this particular instance, I didn't have the most grace. It was 7:30 on a Sunday morning, and I was really irritated, especially with dumping the coffee. The water, fine, we'll deal with it. But the coffee thing hurt. I mean, it was hot, and it was a bigger mess. And thankfully, the towel was still handy from cleaning up the water before. But yeah, no, I didn't immediately have the most grace with that. But I did step back as I'm wiping up the floor the second time. And I took a breath and I said, okay, clearly I need to clear my head this morning. I need to take a break before I have other people in my home, before I make them breakfast filled with this frustration that I have building here. So I did that, and I did my meditation practice and had my coffee and just really reset how I was approaching my day. And it gave me that pause to just let go, to just forget about stressing about are the pancakes going to be ready on time? Who cares if pancakes are ready on time? Make them 5 minutes late. Nobody's going to starve to death. They're pancakes. So it was just an example of where I didn't have to rush and push myself. And I was rushing. And that typically tends to be where I end up with these moments of hold up, let's wait and proceed with more caution. And the hot coffee definitely got my attention. So the third thing was much more impactful to our business. The third thing was, many of you know that we are very, very close to publishing our new workbook called Being Happy. And it's been a very fun project, and I've really enjoyed writing it and putting the material together. So we got it back from Edit a couple weeks ago, and I emailed our publishing agent, and I said, okay, we're ready to go. And I got an auto response that said she was going to be out until March 6th. And I don't know if this was missing information, a miscommunication, maybe it went to spam and I didn't see it, but I didn't know she was going to be gone for 2.5 weeks. So we've just said that we're going to talk Wednesday this week, and that'll be fine. But initially it was a little frustrating because here I am, I did my part, I'm ready to go, let's launch this thing, and now we're being told to wait. Now that instance was tied to business, and it was the middle of the day, and I was in an alert place anyway, and I immediately recognized that I'm being asked to hold up for a second. Like there's something else here. And I sat with myself and I prayed about it. I meditated and I said, okay, I'm being told to wait for 2.5 weeks. And I'm going to assume that there's something that would be beneficial for me to add to the book or remove from the book or know about the material before proceeding. So what came out of that time was actually really, really constructive. We decided that we wanted a little more art. We had one piece of art that's from one of our clients, and I'm so grateful for her piece in there. But we decided we wanted to add a little bit more, and we ended up adding a piece from each of John's daughters and then a piece from my daughter. And this has really brought it together as a family piece. And we're very, very family-oriented people, and it was so nice to sit with them and review the pages and have them pick out where they wanted to put their art, and then work on the design process with them, and really encourage their creative expression. They're all very creative young ladies. And they asked, honestly, to be paid for it, which I thought was really good negotiating skills. We talked about getting paid up front versus getting paid royalties as you go, and we settled on up front. And I think that's a much easier way to manage 3 young ladies. So we paid them, and then we went shopping. And that was a lot of fun also. So this pause gave time for that. And then the other cool thing was this morning, I was sharing this all with a friend of mine that I was going to do this video, and it brought up the opportunity to put a piece of her art in this book. And she also has a piece in our book, Building Wings, which is poetry. But with this book, she's been very busy. She's doing great things in New York, and I really just didn't think I should put something else on her table. So we had a conversation, and I'm really glad to add a piece to it. So you'll get to see a piece of hers as well. And through all of that, now that I have until Wednesday, I'm like, wait a minute. Did I miss anybody else? Is there something else that should be in here artistically? Like, this isn't just about the words. This is about how we see it. So I've kind of made a little list of some artists I know, and I'm going to go back through to them and see if any of them want to contribute a little piece. So I'm very excited about this edition, and I'm really grateful that I was in a place the day that I got that email from the publisher that said, hold up, we got 2.5 weeks here. I mean, I could have pushed the envelope. I could have gone to the person filling in for her and submitted to them and missed including the family in this work. And I'm really excited that we didn't have to do that we waited, and that we gave opportunity to allow the things to come to us that needed to be there. Sometimes we get so caught up in needing to complete things, and we get these great visions and dreams and ideas that we want it all done right now. We want to embrace the finished product, and we forget that sometimes getting there is the journey. That's where all the beauty is. That's where all the fun little missing pieces are. And if we stop and we collect them as we go, we include them in the finished product, and we get to have joy the entire time. If you're engaged and enjoying the journey, then the destination is still the completion of the goal, but you can have gratitude and learning and opportunity and connection and love through the entire process. So it's great to make a plan and to have goals. And if you've worked with me personally through transitional coaching, you'll know I love goals. I love homework. I like having a plan. I like engaging all of that. Again, have astrologers look at my stuff. You'll see where my Saturn is. I like plans, but we also have to pause when everything around us says, whoa, take a second, sister. Sit down and think about this. Do it, because that's when you get to see all the little bits and pieces, the miracles that are right there waiting for you that can make that accomplishment so much better and so much more complete. So the biggest one from this for me is the additional time between the taking the walks that included my daughter and my friends, and adding friends and family's art to the book. Being happy, I wouldn't have had that if I'd been pushing. I wouldn't have had that if I hadn't been asked to wait, if I had circumvented the wait and pushed ahead anyway. So yes, get creative, find your avenues, go where you feel called to, have your goals and your dreams. But when you get asked to pause and take a look, it's a really good indication that it's time to let go of that control a little bit and see what you might be missing. All those missing signs that we pray for every day. And I know you do. I know you say, show me a sign that I'm going the right way. Well, you miss the signs if you're going too fast. Just like driving the car, you're going to miss the road signs and the markers if you're not paying attention. That's what Leading This Aware Life is all about, paying attention, getting those messages and those synchronicities and those opportunities are right there for you. So if you want to know more about this, please feel free to reach out to me. It's brennan.malloy@gmail.com, and my contact information is also on our website, and I'd love to talk to you. So I hope you all have a great day and that you've enjoyed this little bit of wisdom.